cost due to this flip-flopping inefficiency. It goes on to say that the summary is that, and then it goes on to say, and we believe that Nigerians need to know that government is not fixing prices. That is what I want to convey. Excuse me, Mr. Honorable Minister, I believe that Nigerians only want two things: availability of fuel and at a reasonable price. If you can't achieve that, come and tell us why you can't achieve that, and tell us what you want to do to cushion. Simple. Simple. In the days of Obasanjo will lock everybody in for 24 hours. At the end of this meeting, you must come out with something. Dangote is there waiting. The fuel is there waiting. Now you tell us that some fuel is on the heights everywhere, and it is mainly because these personal interests don't want to let go. But we're running out of time. So let me read what we now found in the other papers. Daily Trust says petrol will be available by the weekend. This is the same minister again. And it says, the paper says, price hike shoots up costs of foodstuffs. Beans hits 200,000 naira per bag in Kano and Lagos. Local rice goes for 140,000 in Kano. Dangote Refinery to determine price in October. Dangote Refinery have said that it is the government that will determine the price. So what contradicts this thing is this? Meanwhile, there's a story here that also says that naira crashes to 1,639 at parallel market. It's also now still going to affect the price of imported petroleum. We have that. Then there's another story here. NNPC ties Dangote price to forex rates. I don't get it. So I need somebody with a PhD in economics to come and explain to me, because I'm an English graduate. I don't get it. And it says NNPC begins lifting Dangote Refinery petrol September 15. Vessels begin offloading, queues worsen. My thinking on this is that it looks as if some people in NNPC are still determined to continue with this importation and some kind of subsidy that they probably are making money from. I want somebody to explain to me why you are tying Dangote price to forex rates. Why not leave it to market forces? If you want to buy imported fuel, so be it. If you want to buy Dangote fuel, so be it. You know? What else do we have here? There was another headline tied to this. Now, another story. Same story here. This is in the Vanguard. Uncertainty surrounds petrol supply from Dangote Refinery amid ongoing scarcity. Refinery to determine petrol price from October, Sheriff. We are in a state of utter confusion.
I mean, you mentioned it earlier that it's as though there are some powerful forces, both within and from outside, that are bent on making sure that that energy sufficiency remains a dream for Nigeria. And my biggest fear for Dangote Refinery is because even this one that is refining, NNPC only supplied him about 4 ships or so. The rest of the 11 ships he bought it from America. That's for crude now. So essentially, he is going to still factor in the forex I used in bringing this crude in from America. That's number one. Number two is that will NNPC stop importing? I do not think so, because NNPC said very clearly the other time that they will not allow monopoly in the oil sector, which means that they will most likely continue to import, crude fuel, petrol into the country, or then buy from Dangote and sell.
If you don't want monopoly, you have your refinery. Port Harcourt is there.
It's not going to work. They've postponed the operations of Port Harcourt refinery for 6 times. 6 times now.
We're living
6 times.
We're living a racket.
And guess what? President Buhari, former president, spent over 1.5 billion. In total now, successive governments in Nigeria, they've spent over 20 billion trying to fix our moribund refineries.
Mr. Sheriff Quadry, if
Yes,
Nigeria was a company on the stock exchange and you had knowledgeable shareholders, because you would have been declaring serious losses, what do you think would happen?
Declare bankruptcy.
And what do you think the shareholders will do? Right? Let's go to the next one.
Let's move on to our next story. 7:44. If you're just joining us.
Sorry. So we have come out now with no conclusion. Because after we've said all this, you'll be asking yourself, so is there going to be fuel? How much is it going to be sold? We still don't know. 1 whole week, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
1 whole week. That's what we've been doing. And there doesn't seem to be a clear... For it to even be that it was just yesterday that the president directed the vice president... Marshall. Oh, yeah.
Let's go to...
sorry. I'm sorry. My God, this is what my country has become.
Yeah.
Very sad. Very, very, very sad. Very, very sad.
Let's go to page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. State of the Nation. Don't worsen our pains with petrol price hike. YCE tells Tinubu.
It's getting home. The significance of this is that YCE is the Yoruba Council of Elders. And you know, my people, the propaganda then was that that they put all these sentiments, Yoruba sentiments. Everybody has now seen where we have arrived. So I'm glad that the Yoruba Council of Elders are ready to tell the truth, to tell the president that look, don't worsen our pains with petrol price. They say that the Yoruba Council of Elders expressed worry over the state of the nation, just as it urged the president to tackle the current hardship. In a statement, it said that it was hopeful that there will be positive turnaround in the country. There is presently a lot of suffering in the land. However, and they said that the statement reads, the YCE remains hopeful that Nigeria will have a turnaround. However, going by scanty information available on government pursuits and activities, there is presently a lot of suffering in the land. Be that as it may, we of the YCE stand on a strong position that the interests of the masses, not their own interests, not sectional interests, but that the interests of the masses to live a good life should be given full attention. Without regular supply of electricity and with the official announcement of increase in PMS, the current hardship cannot but be increased in daily living by Nigerians. The federal government ought to immediately pursue every avenue to make available to our people the dividends of democracy. Not through distribution of palliatives that does not seem to filter to the bottom, but by putting in place avenues to enhance proper quality living through effective governance administration. Every Nigerian should be entitled, you see, from the YCE, every Nigerian should be entitled to enjoy our common resources. The president should without delay revisit his drawing board to attend to the short-term needs of Nigerians, the immediate needs of the people, whilst pursuing long-term vision of making Nigeria a better place for growth and for development. As elders, YCE wants immediate succor for the people to boost the welfare of Nigerians so that all can live in comfort and harmony. Ladies and gentlemen, is now coming home. Reality is now hitting everybody. And I hope this is the last time we will have, all these sectional interests and so on and so forth. As far as I'm concerned, if it takes going to uproot the body of and invoke his spirit of what's the president of Tanzania?
Who is that?
Nyerere.
Okay.
Or to go and bring some Jerry Rolling or whatever. Nigeria just needs fixing. It just needs fixing. So hopefully, towards 2027, we hope that groups like this now would be more objective and realize that at the end of the day, it should be who can do good for the common good of our people. And there's a cleric here that says to the president, stop acting like dictator. Your policies are causing pain.
Indeed. Let's go take our next story at 7:49. Yes, this is on page 22. Crisis brews over imamship in Ogbomoso as Muslim community calls for urgent intervention.
Well, you all know about this, but there is something that caught my attention, and I thought I would bring it out to mention to you. Okay, so it says that a deepening crisis is threatening the peace and stability of Ogbomoso as the dispute over the imamship of the central mosque has escalated into a full-blown conflict. Now, this is how the show is. This is how it's described, and that's where the thing slips in. The show of Ogbomoso land, Oba Pastor Gandhi Olaoye Urumogege 3.
Oba Pastor.
Oba Pastor. That's where the mischief lies. Okay, and so they bring up the crisis that's going on. I don't want to waste too much time. I'd like the Oyo State government again to quickly step into this crisis. It's deeper than it is. This is on facing the Kaaba in the Vanguard, page 22. It's a page, it's an Islamic whatever, and so the Oba is being addressed as Oba Pastor. And you see, we always call on our people, put your personal interests aside. A pastor has no business wanting to be an Oba. The ups and the sensitivities will always precipitate crisis. One of the reasons why this thing is so, something tells me, for example, that had this current show, had it not been a pastor, this thing might have been easier to handle. Because whether we like it or not, we need to take into cognizance the sensitivities of our people. And this is the only case I've heard of, even in Yoruba land, where an Oba wants to exert control over who is the chief imam of his domain. I've never heard, maybe they exist, I've never heard of anything like that. Under which law, I don't know. But it could jolly well end up being a full-blown crisis. And we do call on the government, because it says here, that the monarch, it says that he's been accused that the monarch has mobilized palace chiefs to support a parallel Eid ground during Eid al-Fitr prayers in defiance of a gentleman's agreement reached at the residence of Are Muslimi of Yoruba land, Edo and Delta states, Alhaji Daud Makanjuola Akinola, in the presence of the deputy governor, Barrister Bayo Lawal, and all heads of security agencies in Oyo State. This situation has been further exacerbated by the monarch's insistence of baseless queries to the imam for attending Hajj without his permission, and the turbaning of a rival palace imam without a palace mosque, and the delivery of inflammatory speeches reveal a grand plot to oust the grand chief imam and undermine Islam in Ogbomoso. Please, I would call on the Oyo State government to move in very quickly, and for all parties to please, let's have some restraint. This is the last thing we need at this time.
Let's go to this feature here on page 24 of the Vanguard, Health Living. And this story here reads, ex-police spokesperson Chike Godwin Oti seeks 25 million naira for kidney transplant.
I was moved by his condition, because I jolly well have a fair idea of what he's going through. But what caught my attention is that this man is a former policeman. He's a former police spokesperson. Okay, he's a former. In fact, he's still ACP, Chike Godwin, and he's at the railway police. And he was at the railway police command. Can't as a serving policeman or just retired policeman, can't they pick up this 25 million naira bill? Is it too much for the police to pick up this man's bill? So if a man has served the country, put his life at risk, whatever, is this how we are supposed to pay him back? The government can't pick up his bill?
You know that there are thousands and thousands of retired civil servants.
Yes.
Probably dealing with something even, I mean,
yes,
this is not to belittle what's going
not
through.
To belittle what's going, but don't also forget that when it comes to jobs like military, like police and whatever, these people on a daily basis, 24 hours, put their lives on the line. I'm not belittling other civil servants.
I totally understand.
Yes. Couldn't the police commission or whatever it is, couldn't they have put in some insurance policy? Because all you would need to do is pay you don't need to pick his medical bill, but put him on some kind of insurance that will cover this. And now he has to come to the public. This optics is not even good for the police, and is of no encouragement to those who are currently facing the risk of taking a bullet anytime. Whatever you might think about the police, their job is extremely risky. And therefore, I hope that the police would pay attention to this, and somebody will come to his aid. His name is Chike Oti, ACP. Okay, it's Chike Oti. Please, if you are interested, go to the Vanguard story. It's on page 24. If you have anything to give him, the details of his accounts and whatever is there. Remember that it could be you tomorrow. Even his colleagues within service. Remember that it could be you tomorrow. Anybody can have renal failure, Sheriff.
I agree.
It's not over till you are dead.
Any health condition.
Any
yes.
health condition, yes. Right. And it's sad because what will be going through his mind? What will be going through his colleagues' mind? Chike, we wish you all the best. Don't worry. I think God will intervene.
We must go now, though. You're back at 9?
I'm back at 9, yes.
Okay. Let's go before this thing comes up on us.
The engine.
Yes. Lagos, thank you. Thank you for tuning in, but don't go away. Kofi is next with the last hour of the morning crossfire. Stay here, please.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.